Hi everyone, it is good to see your smiling faces again. My name is Hamza and I am IT consultant working at Atea Norway. Today I will briefly talk about Splunk and I will teach you how to configure Splunk to collect data from Paloalto firewall. In my estimation, Splunk is the powerhouse of log management and analytics. It is a powerful tool that can be used for monitoring, troubleshooting and analyzing, especially if an organization have a multi-vendor security product. For example, Paloalto and Cisco ASA. Instead of jumping into different places to monitor logs, Splunk offers real-time centralized location, allowing you to monitor network traffic and security events as they occur. Makes it easier to search, analyze, and correlate data from different sources. And now let's jump into the screen and start the configuration. Let's take a quick look into the topology. This is my server that I will use to install and set up Splunk. Here is my Paloalto firewall that I will configure to send logs to Splunk. And I have two machines here that I will generate some traffic that is going through Paloalto out to the internet so that I can test my Splunk environment. First step is to download the Splunk Enterprise application on my server. This is the download page. If you already have an account, you can just log in and then you will be able to download the application. If you don't have an account, you can enter some basic information and create an account, and then you can enjoy your 60 days free trial of Splunk Enterprise. I already have an account and I already downloaded the application. So I will just go ahead and install Splunk on my server. I need to accept the license agreement and then I will hit next. And here I need to create a username and password. Next, and it will take some minutes to install the application. So I will just skip the process and come back to you when the installation is complete. Okay, so the installation has completed. I can access the Splunk Enterprise GUI by opening a new tab, an HTTP connection using my local host with the port of 8000 and entering my username and password and sign in. Now I can go to manage and go to browse more apps. On the search bar I need to look for Paloalto and I need to install the Paloalto network app for Splunk. And I will click on install and I need to enter the username and password and agree and install. It will take some time. After the installation is complete, click on done and I need to do the same for the Paloalto network add-on for Splunk. Click on install, enter your username and password, agree and install. Now it's done, I can just go ahead and configure the data input. Go to setting, data inputs. For the local inputs, I will use UDP. So I will click on it, click on new local UDP. Here I can choose whether I will use TCP or UDP. I will use UDP. And the port that I will use is 514. And the source name override, I will just leave it empty. Only accept connection from. You will absolutely need to configure your Splunk to receive and listen from Paloalto firewall IP address and ignore all the other traffic from an unknown source. So I will configure the IP of my Paloalto, click on next. The source type, I need to specify the source type of my data input, network and security, and go to the PAN firewall. The app context, I will leave the default. The host, I have different method to choose from. I will use the IP. The index, I will leave the default and hit review, submit. For now, I don't need any more configuration from the Splunk side. I can just go ahead to my firewall and start the configuration there. This is the main dashboard of my Paloalto firewall. I need to go to device, server profile, Syslog, add my profile. I will give it a name and click on add to add my server. I will give the IP address of my server where I installed Splunk application. Transport, I will use UDP and the port is 514. And I will leave the default setting for the format and the facility. And click on OK. Now I need to go to the object and configure my log forwarding. Click on add, give the forwarding profile a name, here I need to add the matching list. For me, I need my Paloalto to send the log for the traffic and the URL. So I will give the matching list a name. The log type is traffic, and the filter I will use all the logs. And my Syslog server, I will select my Splunk profile, click on OK. And I will add another matching list for the URL. Log type will be URL. I will use all logs for my filter. Syslog will be the same Splunk profile. Click on OK. Okay, by default, Paloalto firewall use management interface to communicate with the external services such as Syslog. For me, I am not using the management interface for anything here. So I will go to Paloalto and tell it to use interface Ethernet 1/1 to send the Syslog to my Splunk. Go to device setup. From the services, I will go to the service route configuration, go to my Syslog. And as we can see here, the source interface and the source address using the default, which is the management interface, but I will go and change that. So instead of using my management interface, I will use Ethernet 1/1, and this is the source address that is assigned to interface Ethernet 1/1. Click on OK and OK. And the final step is to apply the log forwarding to the security policy rules that I have, and then commit the change. Go to the policy, click on this policy and go to action, and the log forwarding is none. I will choose Splunk logs. Click on OK. Do that for this policy as well. Click on action, Splunk logs, OK. Okay, now I can commit my changes. And then I will go to this PC and generate some traffic so that I can check my Splunk environment for the events that I'm receiving. Commit is completed. I can close this window and go to my test machine and generate some traffic. And now let's see if my Splunk receiving any logs from Paloalto. Start searching. And I will search for any events that's coming on the UDP port 514 and click on search. And this is the event Splunk have received from Paloalto. If I expand this event here, there are no more details or fields that I can use to analyze and monitor. But what I can do is to extract more fields from this event. So I will click on extract new fields, and I just need to pick some random event. Click on next. I will use the regular expression and click on next. Now I can highlight the portion that I want and associate it with the key and value. So I know that the IP address of my test machine is 10.1.99.50. So I will just highlight this portion here and give it a name. Add extraction. After the source portion will be the destination, and give it a name. And this is my security policy name, and I can double check that with the policy name. It is a global internet access RV9. So that will be my rule. The port 443, this is my destination port, and TCP, that will be my protocol. Allow will be the action. So I have the source IP, destination IP, the rule name, destination port, protocol, and the action. I can click on next, next, and finish. And I can explore the fields I just created. As we can see here, I have more fields that I can use to monitor and analyze the events. This is the action, value is allowed, rule, this is the rule name, the source IP, destination IP. I can make the Splunk event view even more efficient by adding a color code that is associated with the action. If it's allowed, I will assign green color. If the action is denied, I will add the red color. And the way to do that is going to the folder of the Splunk Enterprise application and adding a configuration file that has the color code. So I need to navigate to the application file of my Splunk, the local disk, program file, Splunk, etc, system, local. This is the content of the configuration file that you need to have with this specific name. So I will copy that configuration file and navigate to the folder of my Splunk Enterprise application, paste it here. And the final step is to use the action field to search for events. Pick a random event here, go to event actions, build event type. From there I can click on save, give my event type a name. The style, I will choose the green, save. Close it. And if I just refresh my page and go to search and reporting again, search for events, and now I can see that the color green is associated with the action allowed. And now I need to do the same with the action deny. So if I go to setting, event types, this is my event that I created. I can just clone, give it a name, the action deny, and give it the red color and save. In order to test that, I need some deny traffic in my Splunk so that I can see that both the green color and the red color working properly. Go to my Paloalto and enable this policy that's blocking everything. Commit my changes. The commit is complete. I can close the window and go back to my test machine and make sure that everything is blocking for this test machine. As we can see, we cannot reach the page again and I am not connected. If I go back to my Splunk, go to search and reporting and use the action deny, I should see some deny traffic here. Okay, there is 0 events. Last 24 hours. I will just narrow it down to the last 15 minutes. Okay, I should see some deny traffic here. So let's go back to my policy and check that everything is blocking. Let's go inside the policy and see if I have applied the log forwarding profile. Action, and here it is. The log forwarding, none. Click on Splunk logs, click OK, and commit my changes again. Okay, the commit is complete. Let's go back to my Splunk. Now let's search for the events with the action allow and click on search. Now I see the green color is associated with the action allow, and if I change that to deny and click on search, the color associated with the action deny is red. And that's it for today's video.